but he is strong.
Want the wind to carry me far away from here.
To truly understand Rissa Wings of Love and what we stand for, one must first understand the trauma in my life that gave birth to a foundation that can help change the world. I was born on the dreamy, beautiful island of Puerto Rico, but for me as a child, it was more like a nightmare. And that nightmare began when I was kidnapped from my mother by my father, who took me to New York. And with no mother in my world, and only my innocence, molestation, and physical abuse became part of my life. Naturally, I rebelled and dealt with my trauma by running away. Running away from home, from help, running towards my boyfriend, who at the time I thought was the only person that cared about me. It was like walking in a never-ending forest of anxiety and depression. And the further I walked, the more darkness consumed me. I continued to rebel to the point where I became a burden to my guardians. So my father made the decision to sign papers to marry me off at age 15. In my young ignorance, I didn't see marriage as nothing more than a ticket to escape my present, but harsh reality. Little did I know that I was escaping one hell and entering into another. I was beaten. I had stitches in my head. My back was damaged. I was shot and almost killed by my young husband. My life was deeper in crisis by one decision. I think it's fascinating that the word crisis is in Chinese means danger, but also means opportunity. Out of my toxic marriage came two beautiful boys. So I took every opportunity to escape my hell before things got worse. At age 19 and $25 in my pocket, and two babies on my shoulders, I jumped on a Greyhound bus to California, and for the first time in a long time, I've seen a glimmer of hope and light in the forest. Many years went by and I was free from abuse and mental abuse, but still had to learn how to navigate through the forest of darkness. Still with trauma from the past, I still had to raise my two boys. Then somewhere in that time, I managed to find love and light again, and I became pregnant once more. Sadly, I had major complications with the pregnancy. The doctor did an ultrasound and nothing was there. They said that I had lost the baby. But some strange reason, I kept getting sick. I was always throwing up, couldn't eat, always in pain. It got to the point where it was debilitating, and finally I decided, you know what? I'm going to the ER. I'm too sick. In the ER, they did an ultrasound, and I'll never forget. The doctor turned their monitor around and said, "This is why you're so sick." On the screen was Clarissa. It was a moment I'll never forget. This whole entire time that I was sick, it was Clarissa. My miracle baby, she was already past the first trimester. And because she's a fighter, she decided that she wanted it to come early. She was born premature, but more importantly, she was born on the day of love, on Valentine's Day. She had many complications, and there was always a risk of losing her through the pregnancy. And to make matters worse, life threw every obstacle and challenges that it can at Clarissa. From being in the hospital, always sick, surgery, and even asthma through her childhood. It was just obstacles after obstacles. But my baby girl defeated all the odds. I guess you can say she was a fighter, just like her mama. I love all my kids, but Clarissa was special. Clarissa and I shared a special connection. She was a mama's girl at heart. It was impossible for her to sleep unless she was physically touching me. And as she became a teenager, the complexity of life came knocking at the door. She had to deal with racism, bullying, and low self-esteem. And one by one, she overcame them all. And most importantly, became a better person in the process. She even made the cheerleading team at school, which she loved being a part of. I think it's ironic that she was born on Valentine's Day because her favorite color is red and pink. And that was because she had so much love to give to the world. She was selfless, cared about family, put others first. From learning sign language to studying medical assistant classes. Her ideology and philosophy was built on helping others. She was also the glue that held all her friends and even our family together. Even through our darkest moments, she was the glue. She was the definition of love and definitely the biggest light in my forest. My Rissa, the baby that wasn't supposed to be here, had overcame every obstacle and created a world around her with friends and family and people who loved her. We were best friends, and most importantly, another reason for me to escape the darkness, to escape my forest. But one day, she decided to go out with 4 of her friends. And it wasn't a problem because I trusted Clarissa. And I trusted her friends. But this was the day I got a call that every parent should not get. It's every parent's worst nightmare. The driver of the car decided that it was okay to go above 90 in a 35-mile-per-hour zone. Lost control on a red road and hit a wall. I got the call and I got to the scene of the accident. And amongst all the chaos and all the commotion, all the craziness, I could have sworn I seen her sitting on the sidewalk. And I kept yelling and screaming like at the firefighters and the police. Why are they not helping her? Can you see her? She's right there. You keep walking past her. Although the kids had gone to the hospital that was involved in the accident, and parents had left, and I was confused. There's still so many firemen around and police everywhere. Nobody was talking to me. They just running everywhere. And I just wanted to see my baby and know about her. So I stayed there at the scene, trying to ask questions with no answers. I was there alone. Everybody has left to the hospital. It was just me, the police, and the EMTs. Finally, a police officer came to talk to me, and I had a chance to ask, where's my daughter? Where's Clarissa? And their face was just so blank. So I'll never forget the response. She was already gone. I asked for them to verify for sure because I couldn't believe it. My light, my love, my best friend was taken from me by one decision. I was so confused because when it was time to see her, she looked like she was sleeping. But the more I looked, the more reality sunk in. And in that moment, my world stopped and my light was completely out. Words cannot express the darkness I felt. And as a woman who overcame so much trauma in my life, I wasn't sure how I was going to survive this. Because no parent should ever have to bury their child. The one thing that life has taught me is that decisions determine your destiny, even the ones that you don't make. This young driver made an irrational decision that took my daughter's light away from me and all those who loved her. And once again, I was faced with another decision to go back deeper into the dark and be lost forever, or find a way to prevent this from happening to someone else. And because I knew my daughter would want me to keep fighting, Rissa Wings of Love was born to bring awareness to our communities and provide support to grieving families that have lost a child in a car accident. We also implement programs to young drivers in order to promote safe choices, because every decision makes a difference. Clarissa was the definition of love. And even in her death, she has found a way to continue to spread love. But truthfully, I can't do this alone. As the saying goes, it takes a village to raise a child. And together we can raise awareness and make the world a better place, one decision at a time. After all, that's what Clarissa would want.
Oh, say does that